In this video, we are going to go through cash value life insurance, really whole life insurance, the core benefits to the product, how to set it up for maximum cash value, and then how to use it, whether that be using it as a financing tool or perhaps for retirement income. Now, when it comes to whole life insurance, right, cash value life insurance, when you hear that word, typically what comes to mind? While most individuals, we'll call it the herd mentality, have heard or believe this, that it is a bad product, expensive, has weak returns, the cash value will barely grow at all. You're much better off purchasing term insurance and investing the rest. If you get a whole life insurance policy, there is a good chance you're going to have buyer's remorse. Have you heard that before? Perhaps we've heard something very similar from that of Dave Ramsey or Susie Orman, who are very big proponents of buying term insurance and investing the rest. But then you've got the 1%. The 1% have used whole life insurance, cash value life insurance forever and put as much money as possible into these products. What's interesting, so up here you see banks, corporations, and wealthy individuals. If you were to look at banks, some of the largest banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, for example, has north of $22 billion in the cash value holdings of their life insurance policies. The death benefits are much larger than that. So the question we always get here, because wealthy individuals utilize cash value life insurance for the cash value, but also legacy planning, is why? Why does the herd mentality promote whole life insurance as a horrible place to put any money? And then you see the 1%, the ultra wealthy, call it the people that have it all figured out, put as much money as possible there. Well, some bullet points here. What I'll add first and foremost is that it often has to do with the cash value. That is a huge driver of interest. So a couple bullet points here. When it comes to the cash value, you've got safe, liquid, tax-free, and always compounding. We're going to go into this in a bit more detail here. So when it comes to whole life insurance, we've got our little graph here. A couple things I want to mention is when we open a whole life insurance policy, first we have a premium. Now our premium is level for the life of the policy. Now naturally, when we hear the word whole life insurance, how long do we think that we have to pay into the product? Our whole life, right? The thing is, a policy can be designed, we're going to get into that a little bit here, we can design it in a manner where we can fund it for 2 years. Maybe it's 5 years. Maybe it's a certain age 65. Perhaps we stop and go and we can adjust our payments up and down. We can make it very flexible in that respect. We have a death benefit, and this is the case with any life insurance policy. Death benefit proceeds are always paid out 100% income tax-free. Now it's important to throw the word income tax-free in there. Life insurance proceeds are typically not exempt from estate taxes. If we have a high net worth and we're trying to leave a large legacy, typically we want to do some type of planning with a trust and work with an attorney on that. Now with a whole life insurance product, you will often see the death benefit will gradually accumulate over time. Then we've got the cash value. Here is the topic of interest. This gradually increases over time. And the thing is, it goes nowhere but up. Regardless of things going very, very well in the stock market and the economy, one will see their cash value continuously increasing, or if things are going very, very poorly in the stock market and economy, one will see their cash value continuously increase. So a couple bullet points here on the cash value component of a life insurance policy. Here you go. So when it comes to the cash value, number one, no risk. And specifically what that means is that the cash value in a whole life insurance policy is not invested, tied to the stock market in any way, shape, or form. We are completely separate from the stock market. How the cash value grows, because that's often the question that comes up. Hey, if you're not putting any money or if the insurance company is not investing any of my money into the stock market, how is it growing over time? A couple components. One, I have a guaranteed rate of 4%, which is often accompanied by a surplus. The guaranteed rate plus the surplus equates to a total dividend rate. You'll see with the top companies, some top companies out there today would be a Mass Mutual, a Guardian, a New York Life, or a Northwestern Mutual, some of the larger carriers. You'll find dividends for 2020 range between 5 and 6%. As a quick example here we go. So we see a dividend year of 2020. We see a guaranteed cash value interest rate of 4%. Total dividend rate is 5.65%. What this means is that the company declared a surplus of 1.65%. The guarantee plus the surplus equates to the total dividend interest rate that company had paid for 2020. And you will find with those top companies, they've been in business for over 160 years and have paid dividends for over 150 years. And we can go as far down as we'd like here, get some history, which is always fun to look at. In the 80s, when interest rates were very, very high, you see very, very high dividend rates. You will find that dividends tend to fluctuate with the interest rate environment. Let's continue on here. Payments we make to a cash value life insurance policy are done so with after-tax dollars. So specifically what that means is that one cannot deduct payments made into a cash value life insurance policy. You can set it up within a qualified plan, but it often does not make sense. If you remember those core benefits, we had safe, liquid, and tax-free. If we deduct payments on a life insurance policy and it becomes a qualified plan, or we put it in a qualified plan, then we've got that unfavorable tax status. So payments, kind of like a Roth account, if we want to use that similarity there, after tax dollars, that's how we fund it. The growth is tax deferred. So as it grows, I do not have to pay any taxes when there's a gain on the product. And then I can access it tax-free. However, I always like to throw this word in here, if. If done so properly, we can access our money in a whole life insurance policy tax-free anytime we want. Why I throw the word if in there is if you've done any research on cash value life insurance, you may have seen that it is marketed tax-free, tax-free, tax-free. And it's exciting. Who doesn't want something tax-free? The thing is, there are instances that can occur where we can trigger a taxable event and our cash value will not be tax-free. So we want to be educated on that as a consumer, and as an agent, we want to make sure we're doing that for those we work with initially and indefinitely. And then we have a unique loan feature associated with the policy as well. And this has to do with actually using the money in a cash value life insurance policy. So we talked about the benefits of it. Here's several benefits of cash value life insurance: safe, liquid, tax-free. We're going to get more into the compounding and the loan feature there. But the next piece we're going to touch on is the design, or how to set it up. How do we set up a policy for maximum cash value and flexibility? Because if you've ever seen whole life insurance, many people have seen something that looks like this. This is very common here. So we see a traditional old school whole life insurance policy here with a 40-year-old male paying in $100,000 per year. And look at his cash value in the first year, $3,300. I pay in $100,000 and have nearly nothing to show for it. Like who wants that? I have a death benefit, but at age 40, I could also buy a term policy for next to nothing for that same amount of life insurance. Now, year 2, I pay in the same $100,000. Okay, I get it back. Picks up over time. However, it is not between years 10 and 11. It's really year 11 here, highlighted in yellow, where I break even. At that point, I've paid in $1 million over 10 years, nothing thereafter, and I have $1 million in cash value. That's a long time. This is a traditional policy. I'll often refer to this as a great example of what not to do. So let's go through how to design a policy for maximum cash value so we can turn what we just saw, which is this example, into this. Same product, same individual, same insurance company, redirecting where his money is going. And anyone can do this regardless if they're paying in $100,000 per year, $10,000 per year, or $1 million per year. Doesn't matter. It all has to do with how we set that policy up. Let's take a look here. Hey guys, Steve Parisi here. If you enjoyed the content you just saw, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for future videos. If you'd like more information or to see some custom policies for yourself, feel free to call or email our offices at the contact information below.